second pre-conference session. Those who were with us from the starting must be knowing that we are already done with the first pre-conference session that was on literature review from Litmaps New Zealand. At that time, Marina Kisne was there with us. And this is our second pre-conference session in association with Turnitin, a name that is already like in a research world, everybody is familiar with what Turnitin is all about. These two pre-conferences are basically for our main conference, the New World of Work, Multidisciplinary Perspectives, that is scheduled on 12th of April 2025. So these two pre-conferences, basically the motive is to come up with the quality research so that when in the main conference, when you guys would be submitting your research papers, abstracts, the work would be a much more enhanced one with the help of a good literature review through Litmaps. And of course, the plagiarism thing is a major concern when we come up with any research. So how we can avoid plagiarism and what are the ethics of doing research, those things would be covered in today's session in order to enhance your final research work. Now, before starting or before handing over to Chetali, I would request our director, ma'am, director of GSIMR, Dr. Sangeeta Jain, to please introduce about our institute, what Govindram Saxena Institute of Management is all about. Ma'am, please, I'm muting yourself. You may unmute.
Thank you. Thank you, Shamin. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to this Turnitin pre-conference session. We are thrilled to have such a diverse group of educators, researchers, and professionals joining us today, all united by a shared commitment to academic integrity, innovation, and excellence in education. It's my pleasure to introduce Govindram Saxena Institute of Management and Research Indore, a leading institute dedicated to management, education, research, innovation. Established in 1997, our cutting-edge research, academic excellence, and industry collaboration, our faculty and researchers work tirelessly to address global challenges, advance knowledge, and contribute meaningfully to society. As we prepare for the main conference, this session offers a valuable opportunity to explore key themes around originality, authorship, and the evolving landscape of education in the digital age. Whether you are here to gain insights, ask thought-provoking questions, or share best practices, we hope this session provides you with practical takeaways. At Turnitin session, our mission has always been to support learning and uphold the principles of integrity. As education continues to evolve, embracing AI, digital transformation, and new pedagogical approaches, it is more important than ever that academic work reflects genuine effort, critical thinking, and ethical scholarship. I welcome today's session speaker, Ms. Chaitali Sharma and Mr. Gautam Rawal. I encourage you to actively participate in the discussion, share your perspectives, and connect with fellow attendees. Once again, thank you for being here. We look forward to an engaging and insightful conversation ahead. Let's get started. Thank you, everyone. Shamin, now over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for enlightening everyone about our institute, Govindram Saxena Institute of Management and Research. Now, I would like to request Dr. Shweta Sharma to please give a brief about our conference that is in April. So, Shweta ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shamin Varsi. Very good morning to all the researchers, and a very warm welcome to all in this enlightening conference. Now, in this today's world where numerous conferences are being organized, so trust and authenticity in publication remains a major concern, and that's where Govindram Saxena Institute stands apart. Known for its credibility and trust, we provide researchers with a reliable platform to get their papers published in renowned journals which are indexed in UGC, ABDC, or Scopus, ensuring that your hard work receive the recognition that it deserves. So our conference that is scheduled on 12th of April 2025, and with the theme the new world of work, multidisciplinary perspectives. So we are for this, we are having this two pre-conference sessions, and the second one is today. And about this conference, it is a multidisciplinary conference as it covers all the domains of management. You can submit your papers in multidisciplinary areas, and for this we are making the main objective of this conference is to make you sure that your quality research papers contribute to the knowledge, innovation, and global impact get a platform so that they can be published. And we encourage all scholars to put forth their best work and take full advantage of this opportunity. So the important dates for this is the last date for submission of the abstract is 10th of March, and the date for this full paper camera ready full paper submission is 20 25th, and then the final date for the conference is on 12th of April. So if you are looking for a conference that can you can truly vouch for, you are in the right place. So let's embark on this journey of academic excellence together. Thank you, and let's make more of this session and more of this conference. Over to you, Dr. Shamin Varsi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smita Sharma. And now, before waiting much ahead, I request Dr. Neha Modi to come up with the introduction of Ms. Chaitali so that we can start this session.
Thank you, Dr. Shamin Mansi ma'am. Thank you very much. Am I audible to everyone? Before introduction of Chaitali Sharma ma'am. Chaitali Sharma ma'am represents Turnitin in South Asia region as the head academic partnership for various verticals in the organization. She is well recognized as an influencer in the business development, marketing, and learning. With approximately 2 decades of experience across varied industry segments, she has served various organizations and steered them towards excellence in the key success metrics. She has served in leading positions in the telecom and edutech organizations such as Nokia, NIIT, and Liquid e-learning services. As a part of crucial projects in this organization, Ms. Sharma has worked extensively with the education sector in South Asia. For the last 8+ years in Turnitin, she has had the opportunity to learn and observe closely the varying landscape across various educational segments and has helped transform those learning into meaningful outcomes from the service perspectives. She has been a part and has been invited to many edutech events and programs to share knowledge and experiences. So here's a very brief introduction of Sharma ma'am. And with this word, I request Chaitali Sharma ma'am to please take up the dice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Modi. It was wonderful being introduced by you. And thank you, Dr. Jain and Dr. Shamin, for setting the context of this pre-conference session wonderfully. My name is Chaitali Sharma, and I am representing Turnitin. I have been part of Turnitin as introduced for the last approximately 9 years now. And today, whatever has been said so far, I'm happy to pick up some key words that are really closely resonating with Turnitin's vision and mission. Words like originality, quality research, and authenticity are some terms and keywords that drives our mission and the goal and the vision of our organization for the last 25, 26 years. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining today morning. And I'm really hoping for having this wonderful session, which we are trying to make it very interactive. We'll be sharing the presentation. I am here with my colleague, Mr. Gautam Raval over here. We'll be sharing our nuggets and thoughts about what Turnitin is doing, has been doing in this sphere and domain of originality. And we'll be happy to take up questions at the end of the session in the Q&A segment. So on that note, I'll just share my screen and will appreciate an acknowledgement if everyone is able to see my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
So first of all, a wonderful topic of ethics in academia, and that is what we've been talking about because one of the most interesting concept of plagiarism and honesty and ethics is that first of all we need to understand what this means because although it has been existing in the world of education, especially for a very long time, however, sometimes we feel that clarifying certain words, definition, meanings, and making them as transparent and as ambiguous as possible is becoming increasingly important. So, what Turnitin is, like I have said, we have been into this space. We started way back in 98. So, we've completed our 25 years last year. We're running the 26th year. And it has been a wonderful journey with the entire education community and cohort. I mean, the numbers are whooping in terms of the partners that we have been making over the years. And the best part of this journey is that it is something which is absolutely empowering the people who are trying to do best in the world.
टर्न इट इन का टर्न इट इन क्या आपको फ्री में कोई
Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself, everyone.
Academic integrity. So, academic integrity is a big word and can be understood in different ways by different people. However, we as an organization that represent this particular space and space of thought, we thought that it is very important for us to share what we think is academic integrity. So, academic integrity is everything that is mentioned in the screen, which is highlighted in green. However, we also feel that following all these and not just when it is convenient to you is not enough. So what we think is key is that we have to follow it in the times of adversity also. So if these things are inculcated deeply in our DNA, then only it is possible to ensure that it is an effortless following of all these things, because it cannot be that when times become difficult then we resort to some short term way or pathway to reach our objective. So very, very important to ensure that we remain on the right path forever, and not just when we think that we can want to do it. It doesn't depend upon the situation that you are in. It has to be something just like oxygen, that it has to be followed. And that's what Turnitin's mission is. So we feel that we ensure integrity of global education and meaningfully improve the learning outcomes. And like we all know that the world of education all around us is something that has been changing drastically. There have been so many market changes and disruptions that have been happening over a period of time, that we are continuously working this journey to ensure that we remain with you all, to have that ease in terms of the research work. We closely understand the pain points and integrate our solution in your life in a way that your work becomes easy, and the journey of writing a paper. So I understand that writing a research paper is not something which is a small feat. It's and of course although the destination is important, but somehow we feel that the journey is more important than the destination, especially when you're doing something as important as writing a research paper. So that's why we have been joining hands with millions and billions of people all over the world for the last 25, 26 years. And we've managed to talk and create a forum and community of millions of students. We cater to all the tiers, not just the faculties or the researchers. So the partners that we have all over the world, are gradually and dynamically increasing every day. And that's how we are trying to understand what is the need of the hour, so that we can do the required changes in the services that we offer, in the forums that we represent ourselves, and ensure that we are able to hold hands. And that's what we feel. What is Turnitin's product philosophy? So, of course, it's something that we are going to be talking about extensively ahead in our presentation. It's important to understand how Turnitin thinks and then evolves as an organization. So, the philosophy of the product is we are there with you in various phases. For example, while the learning is happening, while teaching is happening, while grading is happening, and while evaluation is happening. Because at all these stages, whether it's an academic setup or whether it's a research writing setup, we understand that our role is important whenever there is the requirement of being authentic is there in whatever stage of learning that we are in. And of course, out of those 16,000 subscribers, we've had many eminent entities and bodies that have been walking this journey of integrity with us for the last many, many years. These are some names. And of course, we couldn't put all 16,000 names over here, but we wanted to share that many meaningful organizations and entities have been finding merit and hence have been walking this path for the last 25 years with us. And the important part of academic integrity and originality is how we are evaluating that. So we have to constantly work on that aspect to ensure that what we are doing is something which is meaningful, trusted, and relevant with the need of the hour. And that's why the collection of the content that we have is absolutely dynamic. It is not static. And we ensure that we are able to take care of the work in a way that it gives you the result which is as authentic as possible in terms of the depth, in terms of quality, in terms of longevity, in terms of the breadth of the content type. So we do understand that ultimately when you want to say is evaluate the work's report, it is important to also understand where it has been, where it has come from. The journey of the paper is important, and so is the paper's quality of report. And in to ensure that the report can be as trusted as possible, we ensure that it is being tested against that kind of quality of the content that we have in our repository. So what is plagiarism? Just like academic integrity, it is important to define what is plagiarism. So if we ensure that we follow Merriam-Webster dictionary, which is one of the very famous dictionaries available online, we want to make a very simple definition covered over here. So we all know that plagiarism is, of course, to steal someone's work and pass it off as your own, or to use someone else's work without crediting the source. It can be a literary theft, or present someone else's idea as your own without, without really emphasizing or declaring the existing source. So everything that is mentioned over here is, of course, plagiarism. However, the life is not so simple when it comes to how it is evolving, how it is growing every day. So yeah, there are so many types of unoriginal work that are present over here. So like I said, although we know that the definition of plagiarism is something that can be simple, however, the kind of unoriginal work that can happen is something that is not that simple. And we feel that as an organization that represents originality, we want to share that so many things are available or happening in the world that it is very, very important to be aware, because awareness leads to a better outcome if you yourself are not aware. So the first is inadvertent plagiarism, as you can see, and inadvertently things may happen and you may get caught in the web of something that was absolutely undesired and uncalled for. Hence, to be a part of a learning process where you know things around you, things that are changing around you is very, very important. So as you can see, there are things which are happening in today in the world that comes into the realm of an original work, and we need to be absolutely mindful and careful about what journey that we are taking, and how we are thinking, and how we are writing, and what kind of community that we are part of. So For example, there is something called student collusion or researcher collusion or writer collusion. So there is a possibility that, you are part of a cohort or a group and you write or you're a part of a group assignment. So that is something which is possible. However, it is very, very important to ensure that the intent is important. So that's where all these unoriginal work comes into the play. And it is important for us to share that unoriginal work of any kind is not something that can be accepted outside in the bigger world. And of course, as you can see, there is something called self-plagiarism also. So writing and thinking original is not a one-day work. It's not a one-time affair. So let's say if I write something of my own today, and 5 years after I try to take something from my own work, it's okay to do that as long as I am being honest about it. Because when you are presenting something today, it is understood and it is kind of taken that it is my work, it is my thought for today. It's not something that I thought of 5 years back or a decade back. So that's why self-plagiarism as a concept also exists. If you are taking help from your own work, which had happened many years back, it is very, very important to again give a proper attribution to it. So, as you can see, there is a whole world of unoriginal work that exists today, and we need to ensure that we are absolutely abreast with all these concepts to ensure that we do not fall prey to any of these concepts knowingly or unknowingly because of any particular reason. There is one more thing that catches my eye today, that is contract cheating. And that is something also which has been very prevalent for the last many years and today is still, where there are third parties that are available to help you write an assignment and then you present it without really citing them. And like I said, it is important to ensure that the intent is correct because if that is not correct, then it definitely takes a toll later in your journey. So, just like Darwin's theory, everything in this universe is evolving, and so is the world of academic integrity and misconduct. So, way in 1998, it was simple. Copying and pasting was probably construed as plagiarism. Uh, Many other things probably were happening, but it was not so well recognized in terms of, and it was not very well understood also. And slowly and gradually, the world has evolved. So have we as an organization. We understood, like we are saying, that we have been part of this journey with all of you in this evolving world. And we've understood that, oh my God, okay, it's not just copying and pasting. Collusion also has to be addressed. Research misconduct also has to be addressed. Contract cheating has to be addressed. Code plagiarism has to be addressed. And of course, recently, we know what has happened just about 2.5 years back, AI writing. So the moment the AI and LLMs, large language models, and generative AI got launched a few years back, things absolutely drastically changed in the world of academicians, educators, writers, and learners. And that's what it's a delicate work to understand what is happening. It is important to understand the feedbacks. We have been receiving feedbacks for the last 2.5 years about the acceptance, unacceptance, the jitters, the policies, and a lot of other things that we're going to be talking about later in the presentation. And that's where our contribution as a solution provider comes in. We are not just an organization that gives you a product or a service. We refrain ourselves from calling ourselves an anti-plagiarism organization. We are very happy to be your solution provider and enabler, where we are doing a larger work. We are not here to just police a writer or a student. We're trying to make you understand how to become a better thinker, a writer, and ultimately become a better person, because these are all small dots which is going to help you grow as a better person. And of course, the entities that you're associated with, like your college, like your alma mater, they will also then be benefiting out of the kind of work that we are doing. And ultimately, then it boils down and reaches out to our country and then the world. So this is like a larger than life kind of a objective that we as an organization have, to start small, which is going to help ultimately become the big picture that is our larger objective in life. So what is plagiarism and what is text similarity. Now, this is one more thing that we felt after interacting with loads of people into this concept, that there still is some kind of a misunderstanding. And there is a very thin line between the understanding of plagiarism and text similarity, because people often think that everything that is similar is plagiarism. Now, this is what we want to clarify as a representative of in this particular realm, that no, that is not so. Everything that is similar is not plagiarism, because plagiarism is a very, very strong word, and it varies from entity to entity, organization to organization, and institute to institute. Because what I think as plagiarism may not be what you think as plagiarism, and those thresholds, those definitions vary depending upon the workflow, the pedagogy, the ultimate objective of whichever entity that we are part of. So yeah, as you can see, there is a document over here where a lot of things are highlighted, which are similar with something else. And we need to understand why whatever is similar may not be plagiarism, depending upon the situation that we are in. So how do we explain this? So of course, as you can see, there is plagiarism that is defined, there is text similarity that is defined, and there are some examples that are also given over here. So I have been talking about one keyword, that is the intent. So if we are, we are bound to write something in our paper, in our document, that is probably not exactly is my thought, is my idea, or has been taken from somewhere else. So it is very, very important for us to declare that. So if you see the example over here on the left, and if you see the example on the right, you will see the difference, that there is an original text technology is rapidly changing the way we live. And it is mentioned that from where it has come. If it is quoted, if it is cited, it is important that we know the nuances of writing, because those are the nuances which are going to be ultimately resulting in how our paper is taken and accepted in the real world. So if you are using any data without citation, that's not something, that's a very a good way of writing, or a best way of writing your paper. So there are some expected similarities that are bound to happen if you are doing a research work, especially. So there can be some quotes, there can be references and citation, there can be some common facts that cannot be paraphrased, there can be some essay questions which are there. So it is important to understand all those things. So on that note, we'd like to be very, very clear about what we mean over here. So there are two papers over here. One shows 5% and one shows 30%. So why there is a difference in percentage, we need to understand, because there are important writing component in a document that contributes towards the percentage of similarity that comes up whenever you are checking your paper. So if it is a 5%, it is very clear to see that it is something which is a copy and paste. But every time that may not be the case. When there is an extensive work that has been done on any particular topic, there is bound to be different kind of similarities that may happen. There can be there can be a similarity with some other source, which I just explained. It can be a quote, it can be a common fact, it can be a reference list, it can be a question. So there are thousands of things as a part of the content in our paper which may match because of one or the other reason that are listed out over here. And hence the work of a writer and the evaluator is very, very important. Anything that is just left to a tool to evaluate is not something that is a very apt way of doing a research work or evaluation of research work. It is very, very important to understand all these small key categories and nuances, and then only reach a conclusion, which is kind of making or breaking someone else's life today. So interpreting similarity, like I just said, of course, everything is good, cool, neat when you've done the way than when you've done it the right way. So yeah, it is mentioned over here, it is cited, it is quoted. So even if it is highlighted, it's fine because it's cited and quoted properly. The second part is missing citation. So although it is inside the quotation marks, but the citation is missing. So only quoting is not enough. Citation is also important, which is going to be again explained what is citation and etc. I'm sure people in this forum know what is citation, but it's good to be talking about it. Then again, if you have cited and it is missing the quotation mark, it may still get highlighted because the quotation marks are missing. So that's why. And of course, the last one is something which is absolutely an undesirable situation where it's neither cited nor quoted. So yeah, so there are a lot of small things that we need to be mindful about when we are writing our work. And of course, what kind of work we are doing also clearly defines the similarity score. Because when it's creative writing, it is seldom, there that the matches happen. Of course, for the obvious reason, when it is a creative writing, usually we are not doing a lot of research over here. We have our own thoughts, we have our own ideas. uh, we probably may be doing very less research work, and there is no need for reference and citations, because after all, it's a creating work. It probably could be a poetry, could be a story that I'm writing, or whatever that I'm writing about. If it is creative writing, then it's the amount of similarity expected is of course very less. However, if it is a research work that we are mostly going to be talking about today, we definitely understand that research work, the word research means that obviously you're going to be looking for a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, which is bound to influence the assignment that I am working on. And all those information and knowledge that I'm collecting from elsewhere is something which is helping me contribute towards the paper. However, sometimes whenever I'm researching, it becomes very important and imperative that I write things as is or verbatim somewhere. And that is why in the research work, the similarity percentage is obviously bound to be higher than vis-a-vis a creative work. And of course, if it is a short answer response to for example, if it is a definition, it is a common fact, then of course the similarity of course will be definitely there if in comparison to a creative writing. So it is important to understand the kind of work that we are doing, and hence the report that will be generated may have the similarity score higher or lower depending upon the kind of content that my document has. But again, uh, that's something that it is not, we don't have to worry about it, that the similarity is going to be just driving up my similarity score. And how to work upon all these details is something that my colleague Mr. Gautam is going to be explaining. He's going to be taking us to a live platform, show all those things, and help you as a researcher better understand how to write your work. um, on that note, I hand it over to you, Gautam.
Thank you so much, Chitali, for the insightful presentation. Hope my screen is
Gautam, just a
Before
second.
I start,
They probably would
Before
like.
we start, yeah,
okay. Okay.
we
yes,
need your
yes.
introduction as well. Everybody should know. So, Neha ma'am, please.
Yes. First of all, I thank Chetali Sharma ma'am very much. Thank you very much for such a insightful deep dive in the research and plagiarism and the various nuances you have shared. Thank you very much. Now coming to our next speaker, Gautam Rao sir, serves as a customer success manager with Turnitin, overseeing the South Asia region. He holds a PhD in marketing and MA in education, and is currently a PhD candidate in a stream of education. With over 7 years of experience in the education sector, Gautam has contributed across various departments, including training, marketing, and sales. He frequently conducts he frequently he frequently conducts training sessions, seminars on the effective use of tech similarity softwares, emphasizes the importance of integrity solutions in the age of AI. Thank you very much. This is a short introduction of Gautam sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Neha ma'am, for the wonderful introduction. So with this, I would like to take it forward, what Chitali had been explaining about what is plagiarism, how do we understand the plagiarism. She also explained a component about plagiarism versus text similarity. So we log in live into the application and look at the similarity report. So let's put all into practice and come to the website of the Turnitin, which is being directed by www.turnitin.com. So once I kind of click on this login option, I can give in my valid credentials in terms of my user ID and password and click on login. So the moment I kind of log in, I get into the administrator role. However, within this particular application, there are three roles. One is the administrator, instructor, and the student role. But today we would be kind of looking at the instructor role more because that is where something where we kind of create classes, add students, and then kind of upload the papers and check for similarity. So this is how the instructor login looks like. Please don't look at these all tabs because I have a demo account with multiple integrations. So this is how this tab looks like on the left-hand side, whether there would be an instructor's name or there would be an institutional name. On the right-hand side, there would be an option to add a class. Assuming that we have added a particular class which is already created, and some of the papers have been already uploaded over here. So I see there are certain percentages. So probably I may want to click on this percentage and kind of look into the similarity report. So once I kind of click on this percentage and this particular window opens up. So this window is being called as an evaluation viewer mode. We
चलो अब अपन पूजा करेंगे कोई
we
गोपाला
need
खाने नहीं है
we need to evaluate the similarity report. After evaluation of similarity report, then we understand like what is plagiarism, what is text similarity. We have been talking about different kinds of unoriginality, like inadvertent plagiarism in terms of miscitations, references. So we have over two layers over here. One is the grading layer and the feedback layer, and the red color layer is the similarity layer. So let's look at the similarity layer first. So while reviewing the similarity report, always look at the flag section first. Now, what are flags? Flags are the deliberate attempt of misconduct. It is something, as we say, technology which helps us to get in all of these deliberate attempt of misconduct, but technology is the one which always helps to detect it as well. So if I click on this hidden text over here, it will take me to that part of the document where there are hidden text available. So for example, this particular paragraph is taken from some source and has been added ad hoc characters between the spaces and changed the font color to white. So if I turn this off, this will not be visible to my normal eye. But if I turn this on, this would be visible. Another instances is the replaced character. Replaced characters are nothing but the characters which are borrowed from Cyrillic, Greek, or Latin languages, which are similar looking like English. So that is something, again, we call it as academic misconduct. And as I said, internet technology, which is like freely like this is available at its fingertips, that how can we kind of get into these activities. But researchers, scholars, please do not get into such activities because there are tools and technologies in place which will timely identify this. Now, not every document will have flags. So if you find certain instances like this, then there's certain evaluator who needs to look into it. Now, if I click on the 70 percentage, it will kind of bring into me the matches which have been come up. So I see there are certain matches like this, like number 4 in color blue is taken from this particular source. Likewise, number 6 in color gray is taken from this particular source. Before going ahead, I see that there are definitions which have been put in double quotes and there is a citation which has been given. And at the bottom, I see there are a list of references which are available over here. And I say this is correct. And I, as an evaluator, I, as an educator, I say, as in subject matter expert or a faculty member teacher, I say this is all correct. So I just simply click on this filter option over here. I may want to go ahead and exclude quotes, exclude bibliography, exclude words, or by percentage. So I just put in 14 words and I say apply changes. So moment I do that and I come back and look at this particular definitions, now it has not been highlighted. And I see my percentage going down from 70 to 59 percentage. So this is how, when we were kind of explaining the ways of similarity report, that in terms of what is the match coming, where the necessary citations, what are the necessary quotations that we have given. We have seen a component which is cited and quoted, so that is where the most of the paper has to be. And as we are having this particular session for the conference, we always have certain policies laid down by the conference to check on the plagiarism. So what is the word count? What is the percentage accepted percentage of similarity? What are the codes bibliographies? Do we need to enable, disable them? So all that has been put in a policy. For sure, the institution now going ahead and conducting the conference in future will surely have a policy in place in terms of accepting the conference papers. So as per those policy norms, we need to exercise these exclusion features. So again, these policy norms can be different for different perspective of those papers. Like this is a conference, a different set of policy. PhD level UGC has a different set of policy. Like with different publishers, of different journals have different set of policies. As per those policy norms, we need to exercise these feature and use these filter options to get the similarity report. Now, so once I review the similarity report over here, I see that there's still matches coming up. So this number 3 and color purple is matching to this particular source. So this is something we need to look into it. Apart from that, then there is this number 1 in color red is matching to this particular source. So this is how we need to take in a look. For example, if I click on this number 2 over here, this box opens up. So I see that this particular content is being borrowed from this online library.wiley.com. So if I click on this book like icon over here, I see a side-by-side comparison. So any content which is borrowed in red color is borrowed from this particular source, right from leading the net destruction till century or more is being taken from this particular source. So this is how we can do a side-by-side comparison. Now that the author needs to look at whether this particular paragraph has been missed on a citation, or student has not aware about the citation process, they have not properly cited but not quoted, only quoted but not cited. All of these feedback needs to be given by the faculty members to the students in the classroom, or by the PhD guide to the students, or the PhD scholars for that matter. Or this is the instances of plagiarism. So no tool in the world kinds of giving the plagiarism report, but it gives the text similarity report. Plagiarism is always identified by the teacher, reviewer, subject matter expert. So that is something important to keep in mind. Now, Turnitin as an organization, as we say, which is built by educators and for educators. Now, here and I say that this is a particular match which has come up, and how me as a faculty member want to give feedback to the students. So usually that is a traditional way, whether I go back and tell them in the classroom, I call them to the faculty room, we discuss one-on-one, and then kind of we give in feedback. So that is so much time consuming. But Turnitin as an organization, understanding the educator's pain, has created this feedback options, for example. So your first option is these quick marks. There are already created sorry, they're already created quick marks. Quick marks are nothing but the common remarks that the faculty might be wanting to use it on the submitted work. So for example, you can go ahead and create your own set of quick marks as well. For example, like short answers. So for example, these are the common remarks which are already there, like clarify the idea. You can go ahead and drag and drop that. So this is something that you can give it. Or for that matter, another set of quick mark is there in terms of composition marks is there. Another set of quick mark is there, which I have created for myself is demo comments. Like this is need to refer more papers. For example, you go ahead and drag and drop that at the literature review of the section. For example, if there's a miss citation, like use MLA type of a citation over here. With this particular quick mark, you can go ahead and kind of give an inline comment as well. So that is possible as well, so that they can go ahead and quick mark, understand what remark this is, and read more about this. So this is so much useful that students can look at the feedback that you have given, and they can go ahead and make those necessary changes. Now, apart from quick mark, we also have this feedback to kind of give in a complete feedback. So you can write in a summary over here. So of your complete summary of the feedback. So that is something useful for students to again read that complete summary. And it would be very helpful for teachers also to kind of given the feedback over here. They can look at those feedback, make necessary changes and submit timely. That is where we say Turnitin as an organization enables the institutes, universities to create a formative learning environment. Another interesting feedback option is this voice comments. So as I've started hit recording, so I see it's recording over here. So we can go ahead and record up to 3 minutes, pause and stop. We can do that record. So again, for introduction, I can again start recording over here and I can see that introduction is well written. Certain citations are missing. Any XYZ feedback can be given to the students by the faculty members. So I pause this, I save this particular recording so that students can hear to this recording in in their particular login. So they can just play like this and they can hear to the feedback that you have given. So these are the feedback components. And another component is about grading. Grading with rubrics, whether the rubric can be a qualitative rubric or a quantitative rubric. Moving ahead, rubrics is something which is a guide for students to achieve the learning outcome of the particular assignment, course, or a subject. So if you're kind of creating a rubric like this, students are well understood on how particularly they need to work on a particular assignment, on a particular concept, on a particular case study for that matter. So this helps, so this becomes a serving guideline for them to achieve superior and to achieve this criterion scale at the maximum. To achieve superior, what all they need to do, you as an instructor, if you kind of have this rubric enabled, and with this help of rubric, the evaluation can be done as well. So this is how. So for example, superior awareness is the consequences. I say I've given 10 marks for problem definition. I say given 7 as expected. And for approach, I given 5 marks as minimal. Sampling again 10, hypothesis 10. So I see I've already graded 8. A student has got 8 marks out of 10. So this is how we kind of look at the similarity report, look at the flags first, look at the similarity report, apply filter options, then look at the other matches. And then we have this interesting features as well, which will help teachers to kind of give in the timely feedback to the students. Apart from that, then we have this all sources option wherein similar source or the similar content can be available on multiple number of sources. So that is available as well. If you want to kind of go ahead and exclude some sources, you can do that. Once you've excluded those sources, if you want to restore, you can do it from this option as well. So this is how we kind of interpret the similarity report. By any point in time, if you want to go back to the original score, you can just again go back, uncheck all of these filter options. And I see that I have again come back to my original source of 70%. So this is how we kind of evaluate the similarity report. And then we kind of come up to a conclusion, like what is text similarity? What is certain citations if they are missing? Have students missed on those wrong citations they have given? And then we arrive at a conclusion like what part is plagiarism? What is text similarity? That is something important to keep in mind. So this is how we interpret the similarity report. So there are certain tips to avoid plagiarism. Again, when I say these are certain avoiding plagiarism, when I say these are tips, but these are something that which helps us to kind of keep into the regular practice. One is manage your time during the researching and writing process wisely, because this is something very important when we talk about PhD or research. Adding new knowledge to the existing one is something very difficult. We always need certain evidence and a lot of reading requires over here. So employ effective research strategies. Who will help you with the strategies? Guides are the best teachers, best research strategies to help to enable you with those kind of applications, platforms, wherein your research can be more effective and effective and efficient for that matter, so that we do not kind of waste in a time and have a proper research strategies frame. Choose when to summarize, paraphrase, or quote information for your sources. This is something always important. we need to look at the paper format that we are having. And as per the format, we need to write the paper, and we need to appropriately know that when we need to summarize, paraphrase, and give in a quotation, because that is something important. Provide proper citation. Being transparent for the paraphrased work is always recommended, and that is expected with all of the larger research community, so that once your papers is full with citations, with proper acknowledgements, it shows how thorough reading that you have done, and your research idea has got stronger backing. So that is something important. Use Turnitin similarity report to revise your mistakes. That is something important. We do understand, and always it's recommended for teachers, also institutions, decision makers, to make them available with Turnitin similarity, Turnitin applications, so that they can look into the similarity report, and they simply are we are not abiding them onto a policy that there has to be original work. It's okay that we need to kind of implement Turnitin as an application in our day-to-day academics as well. Own your integrity and ask questions when you need for help. Again, teacher is your best guide over here. And we always say that Turnitin, why most of the organizations rely on Turnitin is just because of the databases that we have been seen in the presentation a while before. That is where we say ask your institutions to please implement this particular application into day-to-day academics, so that once it is coming to day-to-day academics, it is also imbibes into the integrity for the students that they are exercising in the classroom on a daily basis. Potential consequences of plagiarism and misconduct. We have seen there's so many plagiarism consequences. We need to always link the concept of plagiarism with consequences. We need to understand why plagiarism is bad, and why it is bad, and what are the consequences of that. So that is something important. Whether it is individual cost, being asked to leave the title or the status, expulsion from the institutions, not mentioned a tarnished reputation and damaged employment prospects. So this is going to cost us very heavily if we kind of get into the plagiarism activities. It's not only copy paste. As explained in the presentation, we have also seen the forms of unoriginality which have been evolved over a period of time, whether it is self-plagiarism, contract cheating, or AI misconduct. That is something we need to avoid it as per the policy norms. Capital cost, brand and reputation, wherein depending on the severity of the misconduct, it may trigger the litigation proceedings, which can incur significant financial cost for all parties involved, negative publicity, a loss of credibility, and questionable of negligence. So it's also the individual, organization, and at the people of the organization at a large will be suffering through this. So that is why it's better to avoid plagiarism. November 30, 2022, what happened? The emergence of AI is a seminal technology event wherein eminent personalities such as Bill Gates, Sundar Pichai have been talking about it and compared this emergence of AI to the past innovations such as computers, such as fire, electricity. They say that that is nothing less the innovation of AI, but we need to kind of, it has a lot more impact on our day-to-day living as an day-to-day living and an operations. But academics as most, why? Because we as academics do a lot of research, and that is something that how effectively we can rely on AI. What is AI writing? AI writing refers to the text that has been created using AI. So these tools can produce content for blogs, essays, marketing campaigns, etc., simply based on a prompt provided by the user. More than this, we need to understand AI, the face of it is GPT, Bard, Bing, any of the other applications, but the backend of it is a large language model. So that large language model needs to be trained enough to give the accurate results. And at the end of the day, in academics, in research, we need to understand that research is something that we add new to the existing knowledge. New to the existing knowledge is being added only by the humans
I think there is a little bit of a network disruption at his end. We'll wait for a second. Else I will continue that. Yeah, okay, probably he dropped. I'll share my screen. I hope it's visible. So unfortunately, there must be some internet issue at his end. Regret that. So while he joins back, I'll continue with this. So in the interest of time. So of course, AI writing is something that has been, a hot topic of discussion for the last quite a few years, 2.5 years to be precise. So what do we understand by AI writing? So of course, like any other definition that we have been very particular about in terms of what we think is AI writing, it is basically as simple as that. Any content that has been generated using any artificial intelligence tool is basically is going to be referred to as AI writing. And the content can range from blogs to essays to campaigns to presentations. I mean, in today's smart AIs that have come up, anything is possible. You just have to ask them, and they will just serve it on a plate for you. So very easy, very tempting, but of course, is it something which is helpful? No, that is for us to decide where we need to be, very, very careful about how we are treading. So we as an organization feel, like I was talking about it, that we have been interacting, have been a part of a lot of forums, especially since the time of this market disruption that happened, in November 2022, to understand what is the reaction of our educators community, how they are taking it up. And after, these deliberate discussions that we have been having, we understood that especially the fact is that AI is here to stay. We cannot behave like ostrich, put our heads down into the mud and think everything is back to where it was. So no, we need to, whether we love it or hate it, we cannot ignore it. So better to accept the fact that it is there. And of course, how we address this, market requirement, change, disruption that has happened is something that we have to be very, very, structured and organized about. So the first thing is we need to be very, very careful about having our policies and guidelines in place, because it is important to have a reference to what we think. When we say we, I'm talking about any entity that we are part of. It can be an institution, it can be a cohort, it can be any body which you are associated with as a researcher, as a writer, as a student in your process of learning or writing. So because of things changing so dynamically and so drastically, it is very much possible to get swayed or differentiate between, because today there is nothing white or black. Things can seem gray. Things can seem, oh, it is acceptable. It's like, for example, I feel that if I pick up a 1 rupee coin, it is not theft. It's just a 1 rupee coin. It was lying here. I picked it up. Why do we call it a theft? But probably the other person who saw me picking up that coin thought that, oh my God, this is definitely, pilfering, which is called a small theft, that it is not acceptable that I do not ask anyone around that can I pick up this coin and can it belong to my pocket? So it is important for any institution or any body to have these policies in place for people to refer to it, especially people who are doing important research work. UGC is having guidelines in place. Schools are having guidelines in place. Publishing houses are having guidelines in place, especially after the advent of AI. So it is important that anyone who's doing some meaningful research or into the world of meaningful research, it's important to have those guidelines in place. Um, and of course, we as a solution enabler are recommending for having that dialogues in place. So even if, let's say, you have a Turnitin subscription, Turnitin is not, like I said, I use the word policing. We are not here to police. We are trying to help our educators use our tool as a platform to encourage collaboration between the student, the teacher, the writer, the evaluator. Whatever our similarity report gives is not something which is going to define the destiny of the writer. No, it's not like that. We are not replacing the teachers. We are not replacing the mentors or the evaluators who are doing a very, very important work. Any tool cannot understand the students' mentality, psyche, the way of work, a lot of things. So any tool which we have, it can be as advanced as any supercomputer. It still cannot replace the human touch which is required in, especially in our region, in our world. I don't know. There could be some countries which have been really advanced, but I still originally, feel that we as an organization also feel that we are empowering the educators, not replacing them. And so is AI. So AI cannot be, we cannot get enslaved by AI. We can use it to our advantage. So any technology till date that was discovered or invented was invented with a great intent of helping the human, of helping the mankind. It was not invented to make us slaves to those technologies, and that's where the difference lies. That is where the thin line is. That's where we need to be very, very vigilant, alert, and be very cognitive of the fact that, oh, am I at the right side? I hope we are not falling prey to those temptations which are ultimately driving the consequence. So being my original self is very important. It was very easy to prepare a presentation using ChatGPT today. We could have made the presentation. I could have written a note from ChatGPT. I could have read it out. It would not have taken 5 minutes, 10 minutes for me to just read it out from a paper. However, would you have found it very meaningful? Would you have found it that I'm speaking from my heart? Would you have found it that I am meaning what I am saying? No, ChatGPT cannot do that for me. I can take help, I can take pointers, but it has to be absolutely my thought, my representation of who I am as a person, of how I'm conducting myself. And that's what we feel. From an institution of 50 students who are being taught by the same teachers, who have the same reading material, who are taking the same tutorials, get placed or get grades differently. Why is it? It's basically because of the individual content that that student or the writer maintains, which is really, really important. And that's what we're trying to save and encourage for you to preserve, which is very, very important. And that's where Turnitin is with you. We are there with you. We have been with you. We are going to be walking this journey forever. It is something which is, like I said, I have used the word evolution. We know that miles to go before we sleep, of course. Having said that, or everything that we have done, there is so much to do already. We know things are happening, like we know what there was something called DeepSeek that happened. We know there are thousands of things. There is something called AI hallucination that is happening. The important part is that so much is changing so fast that we need to be abreast with so many things. So I got to know that there is something called AI hallucination. And what is that? Well, I asked something. I asked a AI chatbot that, oh, give me, let's say, probably give me an essay on Mahatma Gandhi, for example. Now, ultimately, that content is coming from somewhere that is written somewhere in the internet or wherever it is speaking from. However, what is the guarantee that whatever it's speaking, the source that it is speaking is actually the right source? There can be some amount of gibberish or unauthentic or wrong information that can be available that the AI is speaking and giving me. So That is called AI hallucination, which is whatever AI is giving me may not be 100% correct because it is not using its mind to evaluate that content and verifying the background of that content. No, it's not doing that. It's just giving you something, is sourcing from somewhere and giving the result to you. Now, as someone who's a responsible citizen, if I'm doing something important, if I'm putting a paper in a conference or in a very, very important forum, it is something that I have to be very careful about, that whatever content that I am taking, has it been corroborated, has it been verified? And that's where AI hallucination is becoming more and more dangerous. And we can take the help, but after all, the ultimate responsibility lies with me if I'm using AI to help me as to whatever content that I am taking, is it 100% correct or not? Because it is something which can be damaging and damning for years and years, and it can come back from grave to haunt me. If I presented today, I cannot go to sleep thinking that, oh, my work is done. It can come back to haunt me even 10 years later, 20 years later, that we've been seeing. So it can come back retroactively also, in our life many years later, and, strip me from all the accolades that I was given. So that can be even more, humiliating or embarrassing for anyone. So that's where it is becoming more and more challenging for us, and that's where we are trying to be with you to help you walk that path. Of course, we as an organization are trying to pick up everything that is going to help you give help you in this journey, in terms of the interface that you're using, in terms of the report that you're going to be using, in terms of the features and functionalities that you'll be using. We are constantly evolving. For example, the AI, detection feature was launched immediately within a few months when the ChatGPT got launched. Then, for example, we have also launched paraphrasing. So there have been instances where students are not only taking, or hackers or whoever, unoriginal writers, are not only taking the help from AI, they are paraphrasing using a tool like Quillbot and then presenting, thinking that, oh, if you paraphrase, then probably it will go undetected. But we quickly understood, just like flags that Gautam was showing. Flags also was a result of quite a few hacks that happened. People tried to insert images and thinking that, oh, the images are not getting caught, so we can probably get away by putting all those things. But we then introduced. So just like virus, antivirus coexist, and cops and crimes coexist, so are we trying to, building upon whatever is happening in the market to ensure that we are at wherever it is required. So AI, and then paraphrasing, and anything else that keeps on coming, we will be absolutely ready to be there with you to help you in this particular, very, very complicated, however important journey of being original thinker and writer, ultimately to assure that whatever work is being done is original and is meaningful. So I would like to thank everyone on that note for being a part of this presentation. If Gautam has joined back, he will quickly show the AI detection feature in our report, so that people can see how a report that has got AI looks like. Over to you, Gautam.
Yeah, thank you so much, CSI, for taking up, because I was a little down with my network. Yeah. So once I come over here and I see this particular, as we have discussed about this similarity report, and this is the AI percentage. So once I go ahead and click on this AI percentage over here, I've seen like Chitali has been explaining so very well about the AI content. So this is how the AI content looks like. So for example, anything for that matter, if the content is being generated by a large language model for that matter, if I've only taken it from a chat GPT, that would be highlighted in a blue color. So let me just kind of put that in an example. For example, you're a teacher and I'm a student, and you have given me an assignment to write an essay on environment for that matter. So I go to chat GPT and give it a prompt like, type me an essay of 1,000 worded on environment. So this is a prompt that I give. So any content which has been taken from AI generated is being highlighted in this color. which is says like likely AI generated text from a large language model. But this purple color signifies is that, for example, you have asked me to write an essay on environment. I go to ChatGPT. I take that content which has been generated by ChatGPT, and then I go to paraphrasing applications like Quillbot, one of them, and I paraphrase that multiple times. So that has been highlighted in purple color. So which says that likely AI generated text that was likely revised using an AI paraphrase tool or a word spinner. So this is something that we as an organization, as Chitali rightly mentioned, that we are not policing anybody. We are kind of empowering teachers and students. So ultimately, it is to bring teachers and students closer and to have that discussion that where we can use this AI, where we cannot use this AI, and how responsibly and ethically, and at the same time, how we can rely on AI to have this content generated in academics, specifically in research per se. So this is what we had planned to present, but if there are any questions, we can still go ahead and take those questions out.
Anyone having any questions?
Hi, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, you
ma'am.
are.
Yeah, hi, I'm Dr. Trupti. I have a question. If the organization where we are working hasn't have any access for this application, can we use it as an individual?
No, ma'am, we cannot use the application on an individual basis. We as organizations are only enabling the access to the institute's university, and the university has to enable, university has to enable it to all their users.
Okay, thank you, Gautam.
So again, there is a question that we have that how much AI content is acceptable. We are not here to kind of inform you that the AI content is acceptable so much, it's not acceptable after that percentage. We always need to understand when we say use of AI is responsibly and ethically, that is something we need to look at, because even in the discussion that we said that essay on Mahatma Gandhi is expected. So essay on Mahatma Gandhi, will that have all the facts? Yes or no? Who's going to vet that facts? Who is aware about those facts? Yes or no? So that is something we have to do it. So we'll need to understand that the large language model, as it will throw up the prompt as per the trainings only, which is done at the back end. So that is why we say use AI responsibly.
Anyone having any questions, they can ask.
I guess the questions in the chat box are already answered by Chitali. So, and I think we can wind up with the official vote of thanks. So I request Dr. Shweta Sharma to please give an official vote of thanks for this amazing knowledge sharing and eye-opening session, I guess, for many of us. Chaitali, I guess Dr. Shweta Sharma is muted, like, and
Oh, okay.
please.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Chitali. As we come to the end of this insightful pre-conference session, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt thank to each and everyone present over here. First and foremost, I would like to thank Litmaps and Turnitin for the enlightening session on literature review and plagiarism-free writing. And these are the two most crucial aspects of research. And ma'am, your expertise in making us understand the ethics in academia, and it has really inculcated academic integrity in making us understand ourselves. And also the live session or the live demo session by Mr. Gautam has provided researchers with a strong foundation to enhance the quality of their research work. And I'm sure all the participants must have understood what all the things that they should keep in mind while writing an original and quality research paper. I would also like to thank our organizing committee, whose dedication and hard work made the session a complete success. Your efforts behind the scenes are truly commendable. And to all the participants who are present here, thank you for all your active engagement, because your thought-provoking questions has really made this session a success. And this, as we move forward, we look forward to more quality research papers and a successful main conference ahead on 12th of April. So let's continue this journey of learning collaboration. And thank you once again, and see you all on 12th of April, that is on the main conference day. Thank you so much. Waiting for quality research papers from all of you. Thank you so much.
One request, Dr. Shweta Sharma would be sharing the feedback form in the chat box, and it is as well as shared by Mr. Gautam Raval. Please fill it.
And before winding up, I request everyone if you can switch on your cameras so that we can have a group photograph. Thank you so much, everyone. See you all on April 12th, the main conference. And by that time, if anybody has any concerns, anything related with the research paper or abstract, feel free to contact our conveners. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day ahead. See you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, ma'am.